In the past, discussing religion in India often invoked a sense of unease and embarrassment. People hesitated to identify themselves openly as Hindus, often questioning the necessity of such declarations. However, today there is an undeniable sense of pride in affirming one's Hindu identity. The ideology of Hindutva has gained significant traction, resonating deeply within the populace. The sentiment of "we are Hindus, united in our identity, preserving our culture and reclaiming what was lost" has firmly taken root. This ideological transformation owes much to Narendra Modi. Since independence, no leader has successfully propagated a singular ideology to unite the masses as Modi has done. Under his leadership, the idea of Hindutva has transcended its marginal status to become a dominant narrative. While this shift may have had political ramifications, it has undeniably instilled a newfound confidence among Hindus to embrace and celebrate their heritage, customs, and traditions. People now openly discuss their faith with pride, reviving practices, rituals, and temple-centric activities that were previously regarded with hesitation. This is the very topic that today's chairman's desk deals with. Hindu nationalism, once a peripheral ideology, has now entered the mainstream. Modi's tenure as Prime Minister for over a decade has unquestionably united Hindus under a common identity. He has transformed the way Hindus perceive their religion. As the leader of the nation, occupying its highest office, Modi's public acknowledgement of Hinduism's greatness and his adherence to cultural and traditional practices have profoundly influenced the collective Hindu psyche. The pride in proclaiming, "I am a Hindu and this is my land," has found new strength. In a broader sense, Hindutva has undergone a renaissance. The reconstruction of the Ayodhya temple 500 years after its destruction has rekindled reverence for Lord Rama and reinforced faith in Hindutva. What was once a tentative approach to discussing Hinduism has now turned into open pride, with individuals confidently asserting their identity and practices. This change can largely be attributed to the government's unambiguous stance on Hinduism, moving away from a facade of secularism that avoided upsetting particular demographics. The current administration has unabashedly celebrated the nation's ancient religion, customs, and culture. For instance, during the Ayodhya temple's reconstruction, Modi fasted for 11 days and conducted prayers at temples across 11 states before attending the inauguration. Such actions, when undertaken by the nation's highest leader, naturally inspire public emulation and pride. Modi's approach has skillfully conveyed that celebrating one's faith does not undermine secularism. He has instilled the belief that speaking of one's religion openly is not an act of shame but a rightful acknowledgement of heritage. By asserting that identifying as a Hindu and adhering to Hindu traditions does not conflict with secularism, Modi has set a practical example. Secularism, he has shown, is about respecting all religions, not about suppressing pride in one's own. No other leader in modern India's history has left such a profound imprint on the Hindu faith. Modi's leadership has imbued Hindus with the confidence to celebrate their glorious legacy and history. He has urged them to speak for themselves, arguing that unless Hindus assert their identity, the world cannot recognize their contributions. The message is clear. Hindus need not fear anyone, and this is indeed a Hindu nation, words Modi has boldly conveyed. Through his actions and words, he has rejuvenated a civilization's spirit, reaffirming that pride in one's faith and a commitment to secularism are not mutually exclusive but harmoniously intertwined. Before Modi's leadership, it's not as though Hinduism did not exist, nor that Hindus refrained from performing rituals. However, the presence of a strong, inspiring leader has undeniably ushered in significant changes. This transformation is now palpable across the country. There is an unprecedented emphasis on prayers and religious ceremonies, a surge in the number of devotees visiting temples, and a renewed curiosity to explore Hindu traditions and customs. Hindus are proudly proclaiming, "This is our culture." Practices that had faded into obscurity are now being revived with vigor. Collectively, Hinduism has embraced a new radiance, heralding what can be described as a fresh era in its journey. Emotions among Hindus have intensified. When reminded of past losses, they now harbor a resolute determination to make amends. Without any external prompting, individuals are delving into history, uncovering tales of forgotten temples and injustices, and sharing them widely on social media. Under Modi's leadership, the notion that Hinduism is invincible has taken root, leading to an organic surge in efforts to preserve and protect the faith. Even those who previously showed little interest in Hindutva have developed a newfound enthusiasm. They now view themselves as representatives of an ancient Hindu legacy that spans millennia. From the individual to the societal level, Hindus are participating in religious activities with unprecedented zeal. Festivals, celebrations, and rituals are being organized with grandeur and devotion. There is no hesitation in extolling the virtues of Hinduism wherever possible. This collective awakening has not only strengthened the cultural fabric, but also instilled pride and unity among its followers. A renaissance of Hinduism is unfolding, marked by fervor, heritage, and a rekindled sense of purpose. Hinduism has always had a rich and illustrious history, yet there were signs of dwindling self-confidence among Hindus. They even struggled to speak out firmly about the injustices they had faced. This was the state of affairs before Modi's emergence. His leadership has turned the situation around completely. Revered as the Hindu Hriday Samrat, Emperor of Hindu hearts, Modi has never hesitated to speak about Hindutva, even in international settings. During visits to Muslim-majority countries, he eloquently highlighted the greatness of Hinduism, inaugurating temples in Gulf nations to symbolize the global significance of faith. Modi's actions have ignited an unparalleled sense of inspiration among millions of Hindus, creating the perception that any insult to Hinduism would not go unaddressed by the Prime Minister. This, in turn, has fundamentally shifted the thinking of Hindus. Where once caste and class divided them, Hindus have begun to unite under a shared identity. Modi's consistent emphasis on Hindu unity, coupled with his deft leadership, has effectively galvanized the Hindu community. The recent success of the slogan, "Ek hai to safe hai," united, we are secure, in the Maharashtra elections is a testament to this transformation. Hinduism, as Modi has demonstrated, is not confined to India alone. He has emphasized the need for Hindus worldwide to stand together in times of adversity, regardless of where they are. Modi condemned attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh and responded to challenges faced by Hindus in other countries, reiterating that Hindus are a global community. This stance has prompted other nations to take notice. Countries that once dismissed Hindus as a marginalized group have started to recognize the distinctiveness of Hinduism under Modi's leadership. This global recognition has led to significant developments, such as honoring Hindu festivals and enacting laws that respect Hindu traditions. Watching these changes has filled Hindus with immense pride. Witnessing grand celebrations of Hindu festivals in distant lands has spurred Indians to ponder why such celebrations shouldn't reach even greater heights in a land as sacred as India, where Lord Rama and Lord Krishna once walked. Consequently, festivals are now celebrated with unprecedented enthusiasm, and a strong intolerance toward insults to Hinduism has emerged. Indian politics, too, has undergone a profound transformation from a Hindu perspective. Modi has created a political environment where respecting Hinduism is no longer optional for survival. The messaging around events like the inauguration of the Ayodhya Ram Temple made it clear that not attending would be seen as betraying Hindu values. This has forced opposition parties into defensive positions and sparked intense discussions within the Hindu community about the political stances of various parties. Questions like, if we don't respect our faith, how can others? And is it wrong to speak about Hinduism? Have taken center stage in contemporary political discourse. Modi's rhetoric has given Hinduism a positive platform, raising questions about the inconsistency of offering special privileges to Muslims under secularism while denying similar accommodations to Hindus. Modi has argued that secularism means treating all religions equally, not elevating one at the expense of others. This narrative has resonated deeply with Hindus, who are now holding leaders accountable and demanding clarity on their stance toward Hinduism. This has compelled even previously hesitant parties to address Hinduism openly, a shift that Modi has orchestrated with remarkable finesse. In the past, political parties would accuse the BJP of exploiting Lord Ram's name for votes. Today, they think 10 times before making such statements. Why? Because now it's not just the BJP. Ram has become a national sentiment, and the entire country is swept up in Ram fever. Opposing this sentiment without thoughtful consideration has become politically untenable. The BJP has successfully warned its rivals that blind opposition to Ram could come with steep political costs. Every move Modi has made in this regard has hit its mark by reiterating that this nation, its land, and its history are deeply intertwined with Lord Ram. Modi has won over the majority sentiment. The public response has been overwhelming, with people cherishing a profound, indescribable sense of joy. For many, there is immense satisfaction in finally being able to build a temple for Lord Ram on his birthplace after centuries. Some have gone a step further, proclaiming that justice has been served to Lord Ram. The BJP, keenly aware of this, is meticulously shaping the narrative that this justice was possible only because of Modi. Through his words and actions, Modi has successfully revived Hindu pride, blending political strategy with cultural awakening, and the results are reshaping the nation's identity. Hinduism is not merely a religion, it is a culture, a history, a glorious civilization, and a rich heritage. Under Modi's leadership, every facet of this multifaceted identity is being preserved and celebrated. Modi has transformed Hindutva from a concept viewed with disdain by some into a unifying force embraced even by skeptics. He has dispelled the notion that identifying as a Hindu or calling India a Hindu nation would weaken ties with Muslim-majority countries. Modi has instilled confidence in Hindus, urging them not to shy away from their traditions or history. His message is clear. There is no need to fear in our own home. Do not feel ashamed to speak of your heritage, your traditions, or your faith. Proclaim with pride, I am a Hindu, and declare boldly, this is a Hindu nation. Do not let the fear of alienating others deter you from practicing and preserving your faith. Unite, stand together, and protect Hindutva. This powerful call for unity has struck a chord across the nation. Modi has not only recognized that Hindus, despite being the majority in India, were failing to fully showcase the grandeur of their faith, but he has also addressed this issue with unwavering conviction. He has demonstrated that, irrespective of electoral outcomes, Hindutva would not be compromised. This uncompromising stance has infused ordinary Hindus with newfound enthusiasm. The realization that if the Prime Minister is fighting for us, how can we not support him, has sparked a nationwide resurgence of devotion and cultural pride. A wave of revivalism has swept across the country. Everywhere, stories of Hindu valor, glorious history, and the greatness of deities are being celebrated. The sentiment that Hinduism, with its unparalleled history, is second to none, has gained widespread traction. The unity among Hindus has reached unprecedented levels, forcing even those who once criticized Hindutva to reconsider their stance. Through this resurgence, Modi has achieved more than political victories. He has restored self-confidence among Hindus and dismantled the environment of hostility toward Hindutva. The Hindutva revival under Modi's leadership stands as a monumental achievement, unparalleled in its scope and impact, solidifying his legacy far beyond politics.
जय महाकाल, जय जय महाकाल.
Speeches alone cannot elevate the grandeur of Hindutva. Actions that inspire Hindus are essential. Modi has not rested with the construction of the Ayodhya temple. He has taken it upon himself to identify sites where temples were demolished and initiated legal battles to rebuild them. From his early days in Gujarat's political arena, where he led the reconstruction of the Somnath temple, to significant projects in Ayodhya, Mathura, Kashi, Ujjain and Dwarka, Modi has rejuvenated temples across the country. These temple towns are being developed into thriving spiritual and tourist hubs, attracting devotees and travelers alike. This not only highlights the magnificence of Hinduism on a global scale, but also boosts cultural tourism. Even abroad, the construction of Hindu temples is witnessing unprecedented growth, with governments and private individuals competing to build places of worship. Foreign artists are increasingly showcasing epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata, thereby promoting Indian art and culture. Modi's leadership has turned Hindu culture into a bridge for forging deeper relationships with other nations. As a result, the forgotten Hindutva in foreign lands is re-emerging, leaving Hindus across the globe swelling with pride. In the past, organizing Hindu-centric events often raised doubts about attendance, government approvals, and funding. People hesitated even to think about seeking donations. But now, the landscape has transformed completely. Today, as soon as an event centered on Hindutva is proposed, government approvals are swift, donations pour in generously, and participation is overwhelming. Many small events have unexpectedly grown into massive gatherings due to the sheer enthusiasm of the people. This renewed awareness and energy among Hindus is unmistakable. There's a growing sentiment that if one does not participate or support activities celebrating their faith, they are failing their duty. This self-realization has led to an unprecedented level of success for Hindu events, turning them into cultural phenomena that surpass all expectations. Throughout history, whenever Hinduism has faced existential threats, strong leaders have emerged to protect and revitalize it. In modern India, many Hindus firmly believe that Modi is that leader rising to defend Hindutva at a critical juncture. Even those who initially doubted him now acknowledge him as a champion of Hindutva. Unlike his predecessors in the Prime Minister's chair, who rarely participated in religious activities, Modi openly and authentically practices Hindu traditions. Whether it's observing fasts, performing rituals, or adhering to vegetarianism even in places where such food is unavailable, Modi sets an example for all Hindus. He has shown that no matter how busy or challenging life may be, religious practices need not be compromised. In fact, some countries have gone to the extent of designing special menus for Modi during his visits, a gesture Hindus see as a mark of respect for their faith. This has fostered a new belief among Hindus that staying true to their traditions will inspire the world to follow them. Modi's leadership has emboldened Hindus to carry their heritage with pride, affirming that their faith and customs are not just relevant but admired globally. Hindutva has always been an integral part of this land, but under Modi's leadership, Hindu votes have become more consolidated, attracting even those outside the traditional fold. This added strength has played a pivotal role in making Hindutva more universally acceptable. Historically, Hinduism has played different roles in India's political landscape. During the independence movement, the Congress party had a predominantly Hindu base, and ideas like Ram Rajya were universally embraced across parties. However, after independence, Congress shifted directions. Under Nehru, socialism took precedence, and during Indira Gandhi's tenure, the focus shifted toward treating minorities as vote banks. With the assumption that the Hindu majority would vote regardless, Congress adopted strategies aimed at appeasing minorities. Over time, this alienated many Hindus who began to view Congress as prioritizing minority interests at their expense. It was this discontent that the Bharatiya Janasangh, later rebranded as the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP), sought to harness with its unapologetic Hindutva ideology. Analysts credit this unwavering stance as the reason BJP grew from a two-seat party to one commanding over 300 seats. By leveraging the Ayodhya Ram Mandir dispute and organizing nationwide Rath Yatras with the resounding chants of Jai Shri Ram, the BJP successfully unified Hindu votes, especially in North India. Even such consolidation was slower in the South. With Modi's entry into the national stage, this unification has intensified further. Reports estimate that nearly 90% of Hindus in North India voted for the BJP in the parliamentary elections, drawn not only by Modi's leadership but also by his genuine commitment to Hindutva and his devotion to Hindu culture and values. Today, temple visits have become an essential component of election campaigns for leaders across parties. Instances like Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal participating in Diwali celebrations with his family or Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee reciting Chandipat during her campaigns are no longer anomalies. These actions underscore a growing realization among non-BJP parties that countering the BJP's influence requires engaging with Hindu culture. However, many Hindus see this differently. They attribute this shift to Modi, believing it to be his accomplishment that leaders across the spectrum are now openly embracing Hinduism. For Hindus, Modi's association with Hindutva is not seen as a political maneuver but as a way of life. This perception has deeply resonated, inspiring pride and confidence among Hindus who now feel emboldened to assert their faith and culture unapologetically. Historically, India has been referred to as a Hindu nation, yet debates about whether the term Hindu refers to religion or culture have persisted since independence. Modi has provided his own definition. Safeguarding our culture is paramount, and unnecessary debates must not divert us from this mission. He has urged Hindus not only to allow others to criticize or diminish their faith and culture, reinforcing the need for dignity, pride, and a resolute stance. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy means it's not about wishing everyone well, no matter what. If someone casts stones at us, we must respond decisively. Modi has declared offering a pragmatic vision of coexistence rooted in strength. India's Hindu population stands at 900 million. Modi has posed a compelling question. If these 900 million stand united, what force could challenge their culture? He has called on Hindus to take pride in their traditions rather than feel ashamed, emphasizing the need for action, not mere rhetoric. Modi's approach has brought about a significant transformation, reviving traditional practices and fostering a sense of unity. This cultural resurgence has ripple effects across society. Today, any major decision or initiative must consider the sensitiveness of Hindu culture. The message is clear. Whatever the circumstances, Hindu sentiments must be respected. After decades, Hindus feel that the vision of a Hindu nation has been realized in practice. There is no doubt that the credit for this shift goes to Modi, who has not only spoken boldly about Hindutva but also demonstrated it through his actions.